No problem. All right, JP, go for it, please.
Okay. Good evening and welcome to the East Hampton School Board meeting. Can I have a motion to open?
Make a motion.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Tonight we're late, but we're supposed to start early, so we're earlier than normal. We've got a public hearing, and I'll turn the meeting over to the superintendent.
Thank you. And I'm going to turn it over to our assistant superintendent because he was very involved in getting our district safety plan up to snuff. There were specific directives that were given by SED. We feel we were in full compliance. And this is the part of, this part is necessary. The public hearing is necessary as part of the plan being implemented. So.
Yes, thanks, Rich. So what happened with COVID, which was an outgrowth of the pandemic, was the governors basically telling us that we needed to amend our district plan, our safety plan, which is a general plan. It's not the specific plan that encompasses that's for all of the buildings. So we had to create 2 new appendix to our district plan, which have been posted on the website. Those posted plans indicate our specific response to another pandemic of any type of sort. Hopefully it's not COVID again. Hopefully we never have to deal with it. The plan had to be reviewed by our bargaining units. I went over it with our district safety coordinator from BOCES. We identified essential workers from all of the units. That would be people who couldn't teach from home. It's all in the plan. They, again, are pretty comprehensive, but they're also pretty standard. And now that we've been through this, we can say that we can confidently deal with any pandemic that has ever thrown at us. So, yes, John.
So if somebody wanted to see this plan specifically, is it going to be put on our website?
It's been on our website for the past probably over 30 days, Kerry. Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's been up there. It's been shared since February. We have to adopt this before April. Basically, it's all of the things we have learned, the CDC has learned, New York State has learned in response to a pandemic. And most of the stuff now for us is really just second nature, like what we need to do and what we do. The bigger thing is the essential workers, who's coming in, who's not coming in, so who's coming in to run the district. You know what, Keith needs to be here. Catherine Dickinson, payroll needs to be here. Buildings and grounds might need to be here. Lunch, Whitson's, we need to have that. Right. So those things we have to identify just in case the governor keeps us at home and says you cannot come to work. That would be, essential workers would be excluded from that. So the district clerk, things that need to get done to make the district run. Teachers are not essential. They could teach from home now. We've developed that. So they are able to work from home. Certain clerical can work from home. So
That's really it. Maybe we'll give a few moments for the public, if anyone in the community wants to say anything. And if not, we can also adjourn this section of the meeting. We'll give it maybe 5 minutes, and then we can get ready to go back in at 6:30. So.
Okay. Matt, do we have any callers by chance?
Okay, so the answer to that is no, and the phone lines are open and working.
Okay, good. Thank you, Matt. We're just
Okay, so we can announce that we want anybody that's interested, they can call in, and if they're not interested, if they are interested, they can also look at it and get back to us later, right?
Sure, absolutely.
But basically, at the end of this meeting, right now, we're going to adopt this, all right?
Yes,
we'll take a vote and we'll adopt it.
Yep. It's required by law to have a public hearing session for this new plan.
So I say, wait, one more minute.
Here, for the safety, the only difference this year is that we we had to revise because of COVID.
Correct.
But every year we
It's
adopt the
revised.
basic safety plan.
Yes.
The basic safety
Mhm.
is revised on a yearly basis. It's
Right.
usually typically due by September
Yeah.
to the state. Again, it is very, very general plan. It does not talk about specifics, and those are in the building plans, which are highly confidential.
Those cannot.
Mhm.
Correct.
Right.
This is just an addendum to
Yeah.
the general,
Right.
the general
Because of the
plan.
pandemic.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, so I recommend we wait one more minute for any caller,
Yep.
and then we.
Yep.
We vote.
Yep. What do you think of Katie Couric?
Rich, is it a resolution? I'm trying to remember if I read it, the resolution.
No,
Carrie-
Carrie's shaking her
No,
head.
there's no resolution on this agenda, guys. It'll be on
Okay.
the next one. This is just a
Okay.
hearing.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Okay. so
Yep.
you don't have to vote.
Oh, so we don't have to vote on it until next time when it's on the agenda, when it's.
Yeah. Matt, do you have any callers?
I was just going to say, just for the record, we still have 0 callers. Thank you.
All right. I'm gonna make a motion, we close the hearing.
I second.
And I'll, we'll log out of this, and what time is it now? It's 6:14. In about 5 minutes, I'll open the meeting for our general meeting at 6:30.
And at that point, we would then adopt this plan.
No.
No, you have to.
Next meeting.
Next meeting.
This was just a public hearing and you have to give people time to
Okay.
answer. if they have
And like you
anything
said, if people want to let us know, we're open to those
All
suggestions.
right.
Does that-
Do we need to,
Excuse me, board, I just want to ask a question. When you close down this particular meeting, you are not exiting Zoom, right? You're just going to close down your video? Is that
Yes.
Okay.
I was just gonna
perfect.
ask that question.
That's a good idea. We'll do it that way.
Yeah.
Mute
We'll,
and video.
yeah, we'll mute the
Yes.
sound and also the video.
Yes.
Good idea.
And then you'll come back to us.
Then we'll come back right at a little bit before 6:30.
Perfect.
Carrie, are we good with what you have?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So we'll all meet back at 6:30.
Okay, 6:20. I'm going to open up at 6:25.
Perfect.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Thank you. Don't forget.
and just go over something.
That's right, that's where it'd be.
We'll do it.
Board, go ahead.
Okay, welcome back. I have a motion to reopen the meeting.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. And I'll turn it back over to the superintendent for news of the schools.
Thank you. So news of the schools, we're very excited that we're starting to bring students back. In-person instruction has begun on Monday. So I'd really like to turn this over to the principals. James, if you wouldn't mind starting us off to give a feeling to the community and board as to how things are going.
Sure. First, I want to thank the community, the teachers, the board, administration, for the nurses, the clerical, and the custodial staff for the support, because this really was a pretty big effort. And so far, granted, we're only 2 days in, I think we're doing pretty good, to be honest. We clearly have more students in the building. Forgot what it was like to be a principal of students again, but it's nice to see them. Going through the classes and seeing them still socially distanced, but having, a good chunk of students who are here, still able to socially distance. We've also added dividers, on all of our desks, which, at first I was a little concerned about, but it ends up looking pretty good. It's not perfect, but I think we're making do and we're being safe. I think some of the attendance is a little bit down. It's a little less than I would like it to be, but still overall in the building, we're definitely up. I sent out something to our full remote students to see who is willing to come back, and I'm waiting for that. The deadline for that was going to be this Sunday, so we can make some plans to get some of those full remote students back for the remainder of the year. And otherwise, we're doing good. We're going forward. We have March Madness coming up next week, so this is a very exciting time, for everyone. It's nice to have students back in the building, and the students who have kind of spot checked to see how they're doing. They seem pretty happy about it. I'll probably send a survey out probably next week, somewhere in there, just to get some more formal data on what's going well and what's not going well. But it's been I've been very appreciative of the effort that everyone's put in to make this work.
Great. Sounds good. Board, any questions from the board in terms of specifics, in terms of in-person learning that's occurring? We're good that way?
No, I just say thank you for the updates. I know between the principals and Adam forwarding them to us, it's been fantastic. So we feel like we're there without being there. But thank you.
Can I just ask one quick question about how many kids, and you may have responded because I sent an email, but I've been out all day, about how many kids are in the overflow rooms right now? How is that working out?
Actually, that's actually working out better than I thought, it's like a blessing and a curse. The reason that it's low in the overflow rooms means that there's other kids who are absent. So then they kind of spill back out into the classrooms in the overflow rooms. But I have to tell you, it's actually worked a lot better than I thought. I think in one of the things I sent out, I was like, it doesn't have to be as quiet as a church. Well, when I've gone in there, it's been about as quiet as a church, which is good because students are learning in there. And they seem to be doing it very comfortably. The internet's been doing a good job in there, so that's good. So far, so good with the overage room. It's worked out a lot better than I could have imagined, to be honest with you. And a lot of that has to do with the teachers and knowing their students. And, the teachers want their students in class. So when they get an opportunity to bring a student back, they're bringing a student back into the classroom. So the overage room has worked out pretty well.
Great. Thanks, James. Charlie?
Hello. We had a successful 2 days so far. It was really great to have Friday. I appreciate that Rich and Adam supported that. The teachers and custodians, worked really hard to have everything ready in terms of their layouts, their arrangements, prep all their materials, double masking, even though that was a heavy lift, went extremely well. I would say we had probably about 8 or 9 students who were a little confused. Some came, as you might expect, with 2 disposable masks or 2 cloth masks. So our greeters, Nurse Tracy and Mr. Hartnett and myself just helped to correct that. And we had we have plenty of extras, both of each. And the students did exceptionally well. I'm always surprised by how cooperative they are. And I think, when it's couched through the lens of respecting others and being fair to others, that really resonates with the middle school mind. And then in terms of our classroom layouts, we returned, as many of you who have had kids at the middle school before or in the past, we went back to our activity tables and chairs, which lend themselves to cooperative and collaborative work, which is really a hallmark of our school. And oddly, this resulted in much more spacious feeling rooms because we're back to those hexagons. And the layout is very similar to the cafeteria, where I think it's the safest. And obviously we're using the barriers on every table. And this, again, it allows the collaboration, allows the kids to see each other, but they're protected within their own barrier. I asked Rich to come over, and he popped by on Friday and was able to see this. It's incredible, the change it made. I'm almost sorry that we didn't do this months ago, but we were, hindsight is 2020, and we were under a different set of rules. But it's really great to see. It changed everything up, and the kids feel comfortable. So far, the feedback has been great. And then our other big change was we converted our library into a second cafeteria, and Reno did just a fabulous job putting up the same types of barriers, and the precautions are there, the spacing is there, because that's where the kids are without masks when they're eating. But we're following the same protocols. LC set up 2 automated paper towel dispensers where when each child enters the cafeteria, or rather the library, just like with the cafeteria, they take a paper towel, put it down, have to take their mask off. And Mrs. Tracy showed them how to do this, and then put it down, eat, and then after 20 minutes, it all goes back on, and they go to recess. And then in terms of our numbers, we're starting to get a trickle in of grade 6 and 7 in terms of where the kids are going to be or where their parents have decided that they'll be. But for grade 8, 14 students returned on Monday who were all remote. And then 17 students are remaining in remote instruction. Grade 8 had the largest number overall of the 3 grades of those students who elected the all virtual model at 30%. So we're now at 17% all virtual in grade 8. And then finally, 2 students did go from hybrid to full remote. So that was one shift that I think is, it's worth noting. And that's where we stand so far. I'll have better numbers next week for grade 6 and 7 in terms of beginning after the break.
Great. Thanks, Charlie. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Karen, I know we're kind of moving that way, but if you could just give, did you give out your survey yet in terms of people returning?
We did, and we will have 45 students on the remote platform for the 3rd trimester. Mm-hmm. So it's half from where we started in that first trimester. So half of the families that have opted for remote are bringing their students back into the building. That's for the great. 3rd trimester. Wow. So we're looking forward to seeing some new faces. We have a transition plan in place to help the transition. As you know, many of these students haven't been in a school building for a year. Boy. So we want to recognize that and support families and students in that. And we're getting prepared to welcome them back in.
Great. And that's what's the date for that, Karen?
April 5th.
April 5th, good.
And if I could also, in addition to News of School, I want to thank the EHTA who has pledged a donation to the building for our students. Last year, our Leadership Council wrote a grant with the Greater East Hampton Education Foundation and purchased a book vending machine that hasn't been able to be put into action. And the EHTA has made a donation for us to buy books to stock this book vending machine. And students can use tokens through their classroom teacher to earn books through the book vending machine. So that was a generous donation from the EHTA.
Much appreciated. Thank you, Karen, for highlighting that. Appreciate that. Joe, this was a big weekend for sports too, and if you'd like to highlight some of the events, please.
Sure. We had our first varsity football game in over 4 years.
Wow.
So we're really excited about that. No, it's not to say lightly. We went through a lot of pain. I want to thank the board for really not giving up on the program and those kids. It was a really great day to see them out there. We have 32 kids on the varsity. Really, really excited about it. We didn't win, but we won. By just being out there and having
Yeah,
kids
we
playing.
didn't win, but we won.
It was a great atmosphere, and there were a lot of smiles all around. So we're really appreciative of that. We also had a second round of tests with that group, and it was 100% negative testing for them.
Good.
So we're excited. News 12 is going to come out on March 23rd and do a feature story on them that we did come back. They were here 4 years ago when we collapsed, and they highlighted the issues of football, and they're going to talk about our resurgence here, and hopefully we can last now and keep moving forward with that. On the flip side is JV football team is on quarantine for the next 10 days. We had a young man test positive. We played over at Greenport over the weekend. He was not feeling well on Sunday. We got the report on Monday. So we did quarantine the whole group for 10 days because of that. So we're working through that. But for the most part, I really feel that it started off well. There are challenges all across the island with different things, but we're trying to make it work. What I will say to folks is that please check with Section 11, the updated schedule. Just today at 11 o'clock, we changed 3 different times because of various different challenges, whether it's busing, site availability, whatever it is. So we send out a schedule beginning of the week to everyone. You need to check Section 11. It changes that quick and that often, and it's just the way it is right now.
And Joe, that's easily accessible on the athletic website, right?
Yep, section11.org, and you can have have that information up there for you right away and updated. So if you see a game that changes, like an example today, swimming was supposed to swim 4 o'clock at our away meet. We moved it to a 6 o'clock start because we couldn't get a bus until 5 o'clock. So it changes, and it's just because it happens. And tomorrow we have a boys soccer game that starts at 5:30 because Shoreham doesn't have a bus till 4:30. So it's both ways.
Right.
So just the flexibility right now, parents are trying to deal with it, and they come to me all the time saying, why did we change? There's a lot of reasons, but mostly right now they're busing issues. I did want to mention that when we first started sports in March, we decided to have no spectators from the visiting schools, and Conference 3 did the same, so it was only 2 home spectators. As of today, we're the only one left in Conference 3, not opening up our doors to visiting spectators outside, and I'd like to know if you would be okay to be open with allowing visiting spectators, 2 per athlete, like we do for home, to come to our school and watch their kids play.
And that's just for outside sports?
Just outside sports.
Yeah.
We can, I believe we can handle it. We have 2 home right now, but I think for visiting sports, we're the only school in the conference, so it's a little awkward now. We're the only ones, and
So right now, our parents can go to the away games.
they can. I've asked them not to because it's really not fair for us to be sending people we're not hosting either.
No,
So what I'd like to do, if it's okay.
Do you see a problem if we change that policy?
I don't, because I think outside we're okay. It'll still be 2 per athlete. So I get a gate list from the visiting school. They have 2 people listed on their gate list. They get checked in without chaperones, just like our home people do.
I think
Outdoors
it's-
only.
I'm okay with that.
And Joe, just, you probably had a feel for it from the football game on Saturday. About how many folks did you probably had to turn away some folks from?
We did, and
From Avalon.
Yeah, we turned away, I'd say 25 Babylon
Okay, so-
people. We turned, which would have been well under. We also turned some community members away, which weren't too happy. And I want the community to understand that we are only allowed by rule 2 spectators per home athlete. And now we're going to ask for 2 spectators per visiting athlete. I would love the community to come. I think it'd be great, but we're not allowed to do that right now.
Right.
So even though we're turning people away, it's no disrespect to anyone. We're trying to do the best we can. So I think we can handle it outside if we let the spectators.
I agree. I think keep it away from indoors.
Indoors, no.
No.
Right.
Outdoors.
I
only.
agree with that.
Okay, everybody, the board okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes.
Great. So I'll send a word out to our conference.
That's great.
And that's
Thank
great.
you.
So we're all on the same page. Thank you.
And there's a home game tomorrow, right?
We play John Glenn tomorrow, and I'm expecting people want to come to them, be really happy to watch their kids.
Yeah.
The big thing is also, if you think about it this way, if your son's playing football and he gets hurt, there's an ambulance, but it's always nice to have a parent there. Parents
Sure.
generally want to go.
Yeah,
And that's been the big
sport,
pushback.
we really do
Yeah.
want
So-
parents feeling
Good
good.
So it's good. We start middle school sports on March 22nd. We're excited about that. We've been working with LC in the middle school to get ready for that. But at that point, we're going to be full steam ahead. So, thank you.
Great. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. JP, that's good for news of the schools.
Okay. Can I have a motion to accept the consent agenda?
I make a motion. Motion.
You're right.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
JP, could you just go back to public comments too?
Oh, yeah, I skipped over. I got ahead of myself. Yeah. Matt, do you have anybody on the phone for a public comment?
We have 0 callers and phone lines are open and working. Thank you.
Terrific. Thank you, Matt. All right, so we'll move on to the superintendent's report and recommendations. Number 1, recommend that the board approve the following resolution. Resolved that the Board of Education of the East Hampton Union Free School District, pursuant to Rule 14 of the Suffolk County Civil Service Commission and upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, does hereby appoint Jacoba Bonella to the position of custodial worker 1 for the probationary period of 26 weeks commencing March 17th, 2021, to be paid at the annual salary based on $45,627. Can I have a motion?
I make a motion.
Second.
Second. Any discussion?
Yeah, where is he from?
This is not an added position. It's a she, and I forget now. I'm almost positive it's Springs, but I'm not positive, John.
It's local though.
Yeah, I'm almost positive it's Springs. She's been a sub for us, does a wonderful job, has a great attitude, so we're very pleased.
This time?
Will she be all in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed?
High school for now.
Number 2, recommended the board approve the following resolution. Resolved that Alexandra McMahon be hereby is granted a leave of absence for the current position as teacher's assistant for a period commencing on or about April 22nd, 2021, and expires on or about October 29th, 2021. Can I have a motion?
Keep going,
Keep-
JP.
Keep going.
Page.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry. My mistake. Sorry. And be it further resolved that Alexandria McMahon is, upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, appointed to an elementary school teaching position who holds a valid New York State certification in the aforesaid area for a leave replacement term to commence on or about April 20th, 2021 and expire on or about October 29th, 2021 at the annual salary of $56,039. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second. Any discussion? Pretty self-explanatory.
Yes, and it's a leave replacement for someone who's on medical leave.
Now, the name McMahon, Rich, we want to bring that idea up now or?
Later, we'll get to that new business.
There is a relation now?
No, different.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 3, recommend the board approve the following resolution. Resolved that Assistant Superintendent Adam Fine be appointed and serve as the acting middle school principal for a period commencing April 5th, 2021 through June 30th, 2021, and is authorized under Section 3214 of the New York State Education Law for all short-term student discipline matters. Can I have a motion?
I make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
It's really personnel, but
Yeah,
I think everybody's been notified. I don't want to go over the line, but there is a change. I know the middle school principal has reached out to his parents, students, etc. So best of luck that way, Charlie, with what you have to go through. And thank you, Adam, for filling the need there.
All in favor?
Super.
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 4, recommended the board approve the following resolution. Resolved that the board approve the following appointment to each an additional section to teachers in executive session of instruction effective March 15th, 2021 through the remainder of the 2020-21 school year, and with compensation as follows. Alexandria Bates, $13,500 prorated. Have a motion?
I make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Just with all the shifting, we weren't able to find a full-time teacher, so we had to do some internal coverage that way.
Okay, and it's contractual. All
Yep.
in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 5, recommended the board approve the following appointments for the 2020-21 school year, beginning with substitute teacher Inez Diana Sherwood, down to substitute custodian Thomas Pequicchio at the rate of $17.94 an hour. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 6, recommend the board approve the following resolution. Be hereby resolved that the Board of Education will hold an annual voter registration day at the district office located at 4 Long Lane, East Hampton, New York, on Monday, April 19th, 2021, between the hours of 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. for the purposes of registering qualified voters of the district to vote in future school district elections. Can I have a motion?
Make the motion.
Second?
Second.
I don't know if there's anything to discuss.
It's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 7, recommend the board adopt the revised budget calendar for the upcoming 2021-2022 school year to include Monday, April 19th, 2021 as an additional voter registration day for the purpose of registering qualified voters of the district to vote in future school district elections and pursuant to education law 2018-D regarding military voters. That's any person serving the military, including spouses and dependents. Can I have a motion?
Make the motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Again, it's pretty self-explanatory. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 8, recommend that the board approve the following annual meeting, budget vote, and trustee election resolution. Be it resolved that the annual meeting, budget vote of the East Hampton Union Free School District, Town of East Hampton, Suffolk County, New York, conducted on May 18th, 2021 from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. And further be it resolved pursuant to section 2017 of the education law, a public hearing for the purpose of discussing the expenditure of funds and the budget therefore be held 6 p.m. on May 4th, 2021 in the boardroom located on the East Hampton High School campus, East Hampton, New York. This meeting will be available to watch through the following ways, and it lists the YouTube for LTV, and it's be also recorded on LTV. And make sure I don't have anything else. See, when watching on LTV website, so then further down, it's do you need me to read the whole thing, Karen?
No, that's okay.
I'll go to the last one. Be resolved that the final tally of votes shall be held at the East Hampton High School cafeteria located at East Hampton High School campus, 4 Long Lane, East Hampton, New York, on May 18th, 2021, on the evening of the election or soon thereafter, as the election inspectors can certify that the necessary information. Can I have a motion?
I make it.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? Pretty self-explanatory again.
It is. And just to please note that the election will take place in the cafeteria. The reason for that is for separation and really making sure safety protocols are in place. But thank you, Kerry, for putting a plan together. You can see it's only March. I don't know the specific date. Is it the 18th of May?
Yes.
The 18th of May.
So
a lot of preparation beforehand.
So unlike last year, we're not gonna mail out, but is there absentee ballot
Yes,
voting?
they're the same.
Oh, wait.
Yes.
Yes, there is, but we are not mailing out,
Right.
No,
right, we're doing it in person.
correct. At this
Unless,
point.
unless there's an executive order changing that, but right now it's expected to be in person. But we also do expect to have a large amount of absentee voters because we are still going to be in the pandemic. So it's going to be both.
Carrie, is there a date that we publicize by which people need to request their absentee ballots? Because I know in the past it's been on the later side when they had to request it, and the mail service, no offense USPS, but offense, is moving pretty slow.
Yeah, so there is a deadline that is required. The district clerks of the school districts will start accepting applications after April 19th.
After April 19th?
Correct.
And when is the vote?
May 18th.
So people really should get their applications to the district office soon, like May.
They
like
can,
April.
but I don't set up the education law
Right.
and
Right.
whatever, but according to the education law, it's the district's clerks cannot accept applications prior to April 19th. And I'm also, I just started working on it today, and I will probably have it up on the website tomorrow, all the updates to give people, that kind of information. So, and honestly, we're getting phone calls already, which is extremely early and unusual, but it's kind of not unusual, I guess, because of the pandemic. But yeah, so that'll be up on the website, and then, that'll explain the personal registration days, adding the additional one, accommodating the military voters out there who wish to vote, et cetera, et cetera.
Good. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 9, recommend the board approve the following resolution. Resolved that the Board of Education following persons in their services, the annual school board vote and election to be held on Tuesday, May 18th, 2021. Begins with Kerry Stevens, chairperson, and ends with the last person is Maureen O'Hara, their certified election inspector. Additional election inspectors and personnel may be appointed as needed. Can I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Second?
Second.
JP, I would also like to add one name to that, please.
Sure.
Kaylin Clark.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 10, recommended the board approve the following resolution. Be it hereby resolved that Amanda Hayes be appointed as the interim district clerk of the East Hampton Union Free School District, effective May 18th, 2021, to serve in place of the district clerk in the event that the district clerk is unable to perform her duties at the school district's annual budget vote and elections. Can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I second.
And I don't think we need to discuss anything. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 11, recommend the board accept the first reading of the following new district policy for gender-neutral restrooms. Does that need a motion, Carrie?
Yes, please.
Can I have a motion?
I make a motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion?
Can I just ask a question? We have, I know at the high school anyway, gender neutral restrooms. Can we just, the policy, is this a SED policy or a state policy that we have?
It's required by law from the state. We now have to identify all single-use bathrooms as multi-gender bathrooms. They can't be labeled for any of the sexes. That includes faculty bathrooms or any of the students' single-use bathrooms.
Okay, and right now, what do we have in the district? I know we have a gender neutral bathroom in the high school. Do we have gender neutral bathrooms that are labeled as such in any other building?
Everyone will be now.
Okay.
Every single-use bathroom.
Okay.
Multi-use will stay the same.
Oh, good.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 12,
That's a really good idea.
recommended the board accept the first reading of the following amended district policy. It's for orienting and training new board members. Policy number 2110. And I don't know if I have any more.
Yes, next page.
Yeah, I'm trying to get there, sorry. And the committees of the board. Can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Number 13. Recommend that the board approve the following budget transfer for salary adjustments due to staff and building transfers. And it's basically transferring $30,912.30 from one line to another. It's not additional, it's just a transfer. Am I correct, Keith?
Correct.
Yep.
Do you have a motion?
Make a motion.
Second.
Any discussion? All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now we're gonna have one walk-on, which I'll just label as number 14. It's for our previous policy, for the public hearing that we had. So, recommended that the Board of Education complete a public hearing on the proposed changes to the district safety plan as required under New York State education law. Those present were invited to provide comment regarding the changes. Now therefore be it resolved that upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools, the Board of Education approve the revised district safety plan as presented. Can I have a motion?
I make it.
Second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And then we have, go back to you, Rich.
Yes, old business. I think we kind of covered the COVID-19 updates in use of the schools, but we did issue from the Office of the Superintendent a guideline for travel. So please review that. It was sent to all parents and all staff. So it's self-explanatory. Please call with any questions to the Office of the Superintendent or to Tim Fromm, Assistant to the Superintendent. We'd be glad to entertain any questions that might arise from that memo.
Yeah, and then the other, we are going from a 14-day quarantine to a 10, is that
That
true?
is correct.
District-wide,
Yep.
all schools?
Yep.
And that's with the approval of,
Chief
Health
Medical
Department?
Officer and CDC guidelines. Yes. Yep.
And now might be a good time to announce that vaccine center. What do you think, Rich?
Sure.
Yeah, just John had brought it up before at Southampton Stony Brook Hospital. The state is opening a vaccination center at the Stony Brook Southampton College campus in Southampton. I believe registration starts tomorrow morning at 8 a.m.
It does. Yes.
Wednesday. And I believe the facility opens Friday morning at 7 a.m. It's 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. 7 days a week going forward. So hopefully we can get our community vaccinated quickly. I just hope they get the vaccines. It sounds like they must have them.
Yep.
and it's by appointment. And
Yes.
Yes.
some people can go because they're qualified, others can't.
Correct.
Yeah, they're opening up the qualifications. They're starting to open up pretty good now. But you do have to go online to make the reservation or appointment to get the vaccine.
And from what we hear from that particular organization, it's very well run and done well. So good show that way. Thank you, JP.
Thank you.
In terms of new business, we have a few items. I just really like to compliment and thank Adam Fine. He stepped into a new role as assistant superintendent this year. And we realized the importance of having continuity at the middle school. He and Charlie have been in direct communication and collaborating to make sure we don't miss a beat that way. A lot of changes obviously occurred this year because of the COVID pandemic, and we feel everything that's in place will continue. Adam, you're directed to not change anything without Charlie's notice, without him being informed.
Charlie's expressive written permission.
Just don't touch those owls, please.
Exactly. Don't touch the owls. He's already playing with my pencils.
And Charlie, I would direct you to please take away all those hidden cameras. So.
Mrs. Von Frank will be very disappointed.
Karen also noted item number 2, East Hampton, the Teachers Association were very generous. It actually was the amount of $1,500.
Wow.
Very much appreciated. I know there's been quite a reading initiative occurring at the elementary school. I think this will count in terms of hours students read, and this will be part of that initiative. So it's much appreciated, I know, from the board and also administration for that very generous donation. Annual, and just, we spoke about it already because of the resolutions, but just the upcoming annual school budget vote and election for board members is occurring. So we're getting ready for that process now.
Do we want to talk about the seats?
We could if you wanted.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
The seats that are currently held by myself, Sarah Minardi, and Justine are the seats that are up for re-election this year. And I have been convinced that the news of my
Thank you.
early retirement is going to hold off a little bit, and I am going to run again for another term. I think we need stability, and this is really, you know, with COVID still going on and Rich is leaving and Adam and Tim, everyone's moving seats. So I would feel guilty leaving at this point. So I will try to run for another term.
Thank you.
Thank you, Christina.
I just want to like do one shout out, Christina, to you, because beyond the work that you've done, sort of normal board work, like you really, I would say, you know, it's a board that's worked very well together for a lot of years. But you've really particularly taken a leadership role on all of the vocational education, you know, among the board. You've really been the leader there. And I know when we started a strategic plan, like, gosh, it's like 8 years ago now or 9 years ago, one of the big visions was to ensure that our kids are both college and career ready, and taking very seriously the mandate to be career ready for those who don't plan on going on to higher education. And I'm just so excited to see what's going on over at the high school with respect to the new kitchen, which you have absolutely, you know, I don't think that would have happened without you on the board, and, you know, some of the other programs. So I just want to call that out right now and say I'm also glad that you're staying, because I think the next year to see some of those programs start to come into fruition will be really exciting for the district. So.
That we'll have some type of event, maybe where if things loosen up, members of the community might be able to come in and just see what the kitchen actually looks like. It's beautiful. Very remarkable.
It is remarkable.
Facility.
I think it's on the East Hampton, the Parents Connect has it, I believe, on the Facebook, some photos. And Christina, you know, credit to you for pushing that through. I know we had some community members also that helped, but, you know, without like Jackie said, your leadership, it probably would not have happened. And
yeah, definitely community members. And, you know, we can give a shout out to all of them.
Oh, yeah, no, there's a lot of people involved. There's teachers, there's everything.
I mostly meant it in the context of the board itself, of our board members. There's been no board member who's done as much to make this happen as Christina.
Great.
It's great. It's going to be such a plus for us students, to say that.
New business, you're going to talk about a very wonderful old teacher.
Yes. We just got news that our esteemed algebra teacher, who, when I came into district, our paths didn't quite cross. She retired earlier. Unfortunately, she just passed. She was 102 years old, I think. But Mrs. McMahon was an algebra teacher who was a consummate professional. She was just absolutely remarkable. I heard stories about her. I heard she used to get upset with kids, not because they didn't do the homework, but because they didn't call her. And why didn't you call me? We could have discussed that problem together. And from what I hear, and I'm almost certain it's true, not one of her students failed the algebra regents. And
you wouldn't have let anybody do that.
She wouldn't let anybody. And I know for a fact there were some knuckleheads in those classes, and she successfully got them through. So just a shout out to her. She meant a lot to the district. I know she was always revered in the faculty room. And John, that was part of your department. I guess you must have crossed paths with her.
I came in, I think, a year or two after I came in on the 8th grade level. She retired, but
but
wonderful woman, wonderful family, and of course a wonderful teacher.
Right. She used to come in early in the morning, 7 in the morning, and stay to 5 at night to do her thing. And it was always student-centered, which is a hallmark, I think, of what we try to do here in this district. So congratulations to that family. Much appreciated her service to the district and the betterment of many, many students in our school district.
Great. Just one other thing too, before we go any further, just Sarah and Justine, I don't know, are you guys going to just to touch on your intentions, just so everybody knows?
Yes, I'm planning on running again. So I've been in here for almost 3 years, and I want to continue. So I plan on running. Yes.
Good.
And yes, I'm planning on running as well.
We didn't scare you away yet?
No.
Good. No, that's great. But just so everybody knows, where everyone's intentions are and what we're looking at. So that's good. Good news.
Great.
Back to Rich.
I'm functioning really well.
We are.
Mhm.
You have anything else, Rich?
No, I think we're good. We have to go to public comments though, JP.
Yep. Okay. Matt, do we have anybody for public comment?
We have 0 callers, JP. Thank you.
Terrific. Wait, I'm going to make a motion that we adjourn and return back to executive session for matters of employment history and personnel. Can I have a motion?
I make it.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Are we using that same link that we used before?
Yeah. And
It was a link that I'll open it again. You'll end this
just for the
and send that out again.
And for the public's information, we won't be going back to a public session. This is just, we're done. So Matt knows he's off duty and we're good. So thank you guys very much.
And thank you, everybody that was part of this meeting. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.